In 1887, the United States began building a unique cruiser in Philadelphia named after the Italian Mount Vesuvius. The Navy paid $350,000 for it, and the Vesuvius was essentially an experimental ship that attempted to install three 15-inch pneumatic guns, allowing the warship to fire silently and causing great psychological impact on the enemy in combat. The Vesuvius entered service in 1890. It was a steam-powered warship with a full displacement of 945 tons, a length of about 75 meters, a width of about 8 meters, and a draft of about 2.7 meters. It was equipped with two steam boilers, two 4-cylinder triple-expansion steam engines providing power, with a single output of 2,183 horsepower, twin propellers, enabling the warship to reach a maximum speed of 21 knots. It carried 145 tons of high-quality coal, with a maximum range of 1,800 nautical miles at an economical speed of 10 knots. The warship primarily experimented with pneumatic guns, initially equipped with three fixed 15-inch pneumatic guns as the main armament, and secondary armaments such as three 3-pound guns and some machine guns. Previously, we introduced the 15-inch guns, a series of weapons designed by retired officer Zelinsky and his team. Before that, there were some smaller caliber pneumatic guns, and the 15-inch guns can be considered the culmination of this development. At the time, the U.S. military was very interested in this type of gun because it could fire relatively quietly, and the ammunition could contain more explosives. The three main guns of the Vesuvius were installed in the bow, with the guns fixed at a 16-degree elevation angle, with the barrels protruding from the ship's body through the deck. The reason for the fixed installation is due to the structure of the guns. Pneumatic guns use breech loading, with the power of the projectile coming from compressed air. Therefore, the gun system includes an air compressor driven by a steam engine and a large number of air cylinders. The compressed air is connected to the gun barrel through a conduit. The thrust of the compressed air cannot naturally compare with that of conventional propellants, so to increase the muzzle velocity, the length of the barrel is increased to 17 meters, allowing the ammunition to accelerate for a longer time before leaving the barrel. The drawback is that the overall size of the gun system will be very large, taking up a lot of space, which is obviously impossible to achieve on a warship with a displacement of less than 1,000 tons. Fixed installation of the guns requires adjustment of the ship's bow to aim at the target during combat, and range adjustment is achieved by controlling the launch air pressure. The designers provided several different weights of ammunition. The maximum range with full-size ammunition is about 1.6 kilometers, while using 200-pound ammunition gives a maximum range of 3.7 kilometers. The projectiles are filled with explosives composed of nitrocellulose and nitroglycerin, with much greater explosive power than black powder. The ammunition does not need to withstand high firing chamber pressure, so the shell can be made thinner, allowing for more explosives. The warship was crewed by 70 people, including 7 officers and 73 sailors, and key parts of the warship were protected by half-inch thick armor plating. The warship's maneuverability was poor, with a length-to-beam ratio of 1:10, making it difficult to operate. Regardless of the warship's performance, it joined the North Atlantic Fleet after being commissioned. According to the introduction of the U.S. Navy National Museum, it was decommissioned in 1894, reactivated 2 years later, and participated in the Spanish-American War in 1898, participating in the blockade operations in Cuban waters, during which it used its pneumatic guns to bombard Spanish troops stationed in Santiago, Cuba. The shelling was conducted silently, with the warship advancing to the coast at night, firing only a few shots from the 15-inch main guns before retreating. This bombardment caused great shock to the Spanish troops, as they did not hear the usual loud noise of naval gunfire, and the new 15-inch ammunition caused much more damage than conventional bombs. The Vesuvius also exposed many problems in its use: difficulty in aiming the guns, too short range, poor operational flexibility, and low practical value. In 1904, the United States refitted it, removing the 3 main guns and installing torpedo tubes for testing. It was decommissioned again in 1907, reactivated in 1910 until 1921. During its final period of service, the Vesuvius had an embarrassing incident in May 1913 when it was hit by its own torpedo during a torpedo launch. The torpedo circled in the sea and then penetrated the Vesuvius, but thankfully the crew's efforts saved it from sinking.